In Chapter 4 of Emma, Emma learns that Harriet spent 2 months with the Martins, who are farmers renting Mr. Knightley's land. And Harriet has developed an attachment to the head of the family, 24-year-old Mr. Robert Martin, who provides for his mother and sisters. Harriet lovingly describes Mr. Martin as someone she no longer thinks of as plain. And when she asks Emma if she knows him, Emma snottily replies, "A young farmer, whether on horseback or on foot, is the last person to raise my curiosity." Emma strongly discourages further acquaintanceship with a family she considers socially inferior. Instead, she would like to see Harriet permanently well-connected, proposing the vicar, Mr. Elton, as the model of a gentleman and someone worthy of Harriet's consideration. In Chapter 5 of Emma, Mr. Knightley tells Mrs. Weston, the former Miss Taylor, that he has reservations about the growing friendship between Emma and Harriet. But Mrs. Weston defends Emma, saying that her former pupil may be inspired to do more of her own reading if she intends to mentor Harriet, and that would be a good thing. But Mr. Knightley knows Emma pretty well and recalls the many lists of books to read she has drawn up but never actually read. Mr. Knightley complains that spoiled, doted upon Emma has never been forced to apply herself. The age difference between Mr. Knightley and Emma is about 16 or 17 years, so he's known her since she was born. Early on, he was Emma's surrogate older brother, and now he has a closer tie with her via family marriage. Rather than argue with Mr. Knightley, Mrs. Weston changes the subject and remarks on how pretty Emma looked the previous night. Mr. Knightley confesses that he has seldom seen a face or figure more pleasing to me than hers, but I am a partial old friend. Mrs. Weston then assures him that Emma may have many little faults, but she will never lead anyone really wrong. Mr. Knightley recalls Emma's declaration that she will never marry. He thinks Emma falling in love would actually do a lot of good. In Chapter 6 of Emma, Mr. Elton has become friends with Harriet and Emma. He praises Emma for improving Harriet, while Emma stresses her friend's natural charm. To further interest Mr. Elton in Harriet, Emma decides to draw Harriet's portrait. Mr. Elton goes along with all of Emma's schemes, and he praises Harriet just to please Emma, hovering over Emma while she draws Harriet's picture, gushing over it even though it's only half finished. Elton declares the sketch a precious deposit because Emma created it, but he doesn't say anything about the sketch's model, Harriet. When the sketch is completed, he volunteers to personally take the sketch to London to get it framed. Emma thinks it's absolutely evidence of his love for Harriet.